guess if I can't.
Shit.
What, does it work?
No, we're recording. We're actually recording now.
Well, it's been a while.
Welcome back to the show. We were on hiatus for 10 weeks or 6 weeks or 4 weeks because I couldn't quite figure out the microcard in the... I'm lying.
You're lying. Why are you lying?
I'm lying.
Why are you opening with a lie after all this time?
I'm trying to protect my ego and the fans.
Well, we should have recorded before leaving London and coming to Australia because normal people who podcast and utilize this as a platform to promote what they're doing on tour, that's what they would have done. But we didn't bother doing that. We decided to rely on word of mouth about our talent and skill, and no posters. No flyers.
Well, now we have flyers.
No, so we don't have anything. You have something that looks like a crackhead made it, which is apt because your show is called Mark's Crack House. So, but no, it's very nice. I'm sorry, I'm being mean. I mean, it is a hilarious flyer. It's probably the best flyer I've ever seen.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do actually mean that. It's what is it? Okay, so imagine somebody's at a computer for the first time.
Well, it's on my Instagram if anyone from the podcast...
Yeah, but I'll describe it. I'll describe it too. So imagine somebody's at a computer for the first time.
It wasn't my first time on a computer, but it always feels like my first time at a computer.
And they printed it out on a regular piece, a white printer
paper.
Not even like a thick, like quality kind, but just like, your regular old run-of-the-mill. Like you can crumple it with one hand and not worry about it kind. And
yeah, recyclable paper, I think it's called.
And it says Mark's Crack House, crack, the Irish crack, CRAIC.
Yeah.
And the letters, in a wacky
way. In
a wacky way, we have uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase.
Like I'm a bit on the edge of sanity. I was trying to create a vibe,
Yeah.
Fun.
Edge of sanity.
It's a late night show. It says late night.
Then it says late night stand-up. Now it's 10:30, but I guess for Adelaide, that would be late.
That's late.
And then underneath, it says the 4th and 5th of March. But those dates are incorrect. So they're crossed out.
In pen?
In pen.
In pen on every single one of them?
On every single one of them. And then the correct dates, the 3rd and 4th of March, are written. And the time is correct. You don't have the address on here, but you do have what the venue is.
Yes.
So it's the library at Ayer's house.
Yes.
There is a QR code, which you would think if you can make a QR code, surely you could have gotten the dates correct for your own show.
I was surprised I was able to do that part as well.
Yeah. And then it says in parentheses, my stand-up is better than my computer skills.
Which is true.
And then written in pen to the left of this art, it says free joke on the back. And then I'm going to just turn this one over that I'm holding, and it says, what did they find under Michael Jackson's bed? And, presumably the person reading this would go, what? And then it says Billy's jeans. So
that's pretty good, isn't it?
Did you come up with that?
I can't tell you for sure.
I don't think so.
I've got a lot of jokes.
So stolen jokes written on the back.
No, street jokes that are for everyone, and a few of my own jokes. There's one in there that's my own joke. What one? What's that one?
I think I picked up one that's your own joke. Yeah. It says, "How do you stop a dog shagging your leg? Suck his dick."
That might be a street joke as well. But
okay, not your joke.
What's the next one say?
What's brown and sticky?
Stick.
A stick. LOL, sometimes I wake in the dead of night screaming. Okay, this one doesn't have a joke.
Okay, put that to the side. They need to put a joke on that.
It says this festival has been a financial mistake. That's pretty funny. Okay, so that's Mark's show. So I think we should open promoting it because...
0 tickets sold for tomorrow. But
it's a Friday tomorrow.
But 7... tickets sold for Saturday. So, I mean, if you were a fan of the podcast, you live in Adelaide,
or you know someone.
Oh no! If you know someone, actually in Australia, if you know someone in Australia, if you know someone,
or if you know someone you don't like, send them there too, right? Like, 'cause it doesn't really matter. You can just, if you're like, oh, that doesn't sound good based on what I heard about the Flyers, you could just send them there. I'm not going to be there because I'm going to be doing my own show, which incidentally not selling much better than Mark's show. I think it's a bit of the time. I don't think this is a late night festival. My show time's 10 o'clock.
This is a festival for I think for
artsy people. If you say a bad word, I'm stopping recording right now.
No, I was going to say for people who are into, is it called cabaret?
Cabaret.
Yeah, everyone seems to be really into cabaret
and circus
in this town, and circus and autism.
Yeah, and then to be fair, there's plenty of people who aren't, but they're into drinking.
There's colours. Yeah, the drinking people aren't going to shows, but
they're just drinking. You know, it's kind of, to be honest, it feels like sort of a glorified state fair.
There's a lot of
there's like rides.
Yeah, there's a lot of little gypsy areas where they sell that's not the right word. There's a lot of food trucks. Would you call it food trucks?
Yeah, there's food trucks. You know, I don't know. You know, once you lived in New York City,
colors,
you're like,
this is just fabrics.
This is just like Mott Street when they close it down on a Sunday.
A lot of men in makeup. A lot of men wearing makeup.
Yeah.
So it's real hip for the cool kids, but not a lot of people actually come to comedy, I don't think.
No.
People seem to come and watch the dancers and the circus people during the daytime and maybe bring their kids.
Kids shows are banging here. So my show is it's an hour of me doing stand-up. I've been using the same name for a while. It's not exactly the same show, but you know, whatever. It's You Girl, You Nasty. It attracts who it's going to attract, and it's at 10 o'clock at the Laugh Lounge. You know, I scared 7 people last night. It was good. I thought
they probably had a good time.
And I'm doing it through Sunday. Mark's show is just on Friday and Saturday,
Saturday.
But incidentally, we're doing a split show together called Married at First Fight.
Marketing genius.
That's basically going to save our festival, which is too bad because if you thought if every other show could at least break even, maybe we'd make some money. But alas,
basically the ones we tried we have material for.
Tried is a stretch.
Tried is a stretch.
Here's the thing, though, and well, I'm going to plug one more show. Then I've also learned that people in Australia don't like women because
they don't like women.
Filthy
here.
Funny Females, which basically sold out in Edinburgh, has done poorly. But it's at 6 o'clock.
They like men dressed as women.
They do like men dressed as women.
They don't like actual real women.
No, not
when
real
it comes
women.
down to it.
But our show Married at First Fight, we've got one show left. So if you want to check that out, that's at 7:30 tomorrow, which is a Friday, at Ayer's house. Filthy Funny Females is on for the next 2 days at 6 o'clock, also at Ayer's house. But this is what I will say about us, which I don't know. A lot of these shows or whatever, I've realized without seeing any, but like I've heard people talk about their own shows. There's not all of them, but like a lot of them have like, a PowerPoint, you know what I mean? Or like fucking music cues or whatever the fuck,
A dance routine.
Yeah, the whole thing. And like we rock up to Ayer's house like last weekend, which was we had sold like 50 tickets, which,
for a show we didn't even talk about.
By New York City standards, incredible. By any of these festival standards, people are like, I guess because this is going so poorly for everybody, they're like, that's good. But like the room seats like 120. So, whatever, you get the idea. But we rock up like 5 minutes before showtime, and I see the staff is stressed out. Now, mind you, we've done one before. So it's like, we get there and we go in and we each grab the mic and we're just like, check, and then the guy running the show, the whole place, he's like, okay, so how much time do you guys need? And I was like, let him in, and he was like, oh my God, you guys are so easy because we just show up and are funny. And it's amazing to me, the amount of not just like shows, but just comedians in general. And I'm not going to name names, but who are such a fucking pain in the ass. Like, I run shows. Such a pain in the ass to deal with and work with. And I'm like, meanwhile, you know, you and I don't want to say struggle to get booked, but to some degree, yeah, because we're not like waving in people's faces being like, look at me, look at me, look at me. But I've dealt like the shit I've dealt with just in terms of comics, you know, and their endless fucking needs just so they can go up there and be mediocre is remarkable.
Do you feel better?
No. Why would I feel better? I'm going to feel better.
I think it's like podcasting has a therapeutic aspect.
No, well, you know what it is?
We'd do it more if it did.
This is why I don't feel better, because I clearly haven't accepted the way things are fully yet. There's moments of it. There's small slivers of light where I'm like, oh yeah, this is just a fucking nightmare, and I've accepted it, and I'm at peace with that. Sometimes I'm like that. Other times I'm not like that, you know? And right now, so no, I don't feel better because it's hard to accept.
It's nearly done.
It is nearly done. And
anyway, Katharyn's sensitive because she was diagnosed with HIV in Perth, and it really put a dampener on. Sorry, we have a lot of catching up to do.
We do have a lot of catching up to do.
We've actually been transversing. Is that the word?
Traversing.
Transversing. Whatever. Jesus. I'm just trying to be fucking. I'm trying to get it
funny.
Yeah, stop it. The whole of Australia, not the whole of Australia, but the whole west coast to the south, and she actually she got like a medieval disease in her mouth. Would you like to describe to the listeners what exactly went down?
A medieval disease.
It seemed like a medieval disease.
You know, more people.
She just got healthy maybe in the last few days.
Yeah. So, fine.
We are lucky peoples. We have good timing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was like the first week of the festival. I'll try. I want to say every detail, and then I'll try to condense it. I was feeling. I got home one night, and my mouth kind of hurt, and no, it wasn't from all the dicks I was sucking.
Because women talk so much.
No, it's because we be shopping. That's why my mouth hurt.
And then you talk to the cashier.
No, I suck them off so I can get all my shit for free.
Why'd you have to go blue? That's a problem. Keep it clean, please.
Okay. So my mouth hurt. And then I was like super hot in the night. Like just like not, physically. We know I'm beautiful. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what I'm saying. So anyway, I woke up the next day and I felt like shit. But I went to go do the shows because it was Saturday. And I was like I didn't have a temperature. I didn't have COVID. I was like hot, but cold, but like and I just felt insane. And my mouth kind of hurt and I didn't feel like eating. And then the next day, Sunday, my body just began it was aching so much. I could hardly move. And I was just sort of like laying on a couch all day. I canceled my show. So here's the tragic thing about stand-up comedy is like, if you're going to do this professionally, there's a variety of ways to do it. None of them are really ideal. And one of them is the festival circuit. So you're kind of at the mercy to whatever these festivals want to do with you. So I'm going to we will do Perth Fringe again because you don't have another option. However, I'm going to say what they do to us because it's like, it's bullshit is I'd say the best word for it. They take a registration fee, which is, for each show, which is like, I guess reasonable enough. But then Perth Fringe very specifically charges you a percentage of tickets you sell. Now they don't do, besides putting you on a website and in a book and, offering quote unquote networking opportunities. They don't like promote you and on their website unless you've paid to be in one of their hub venues, in which case if you're in a hub venue, they take 50% of your profits, in addition to a percentage of tickets you sell. So I wasn't in a hub venue because I don't have the kind of money to put up front to do that. And I also know that being in a hub venue guarantees nothing more. Even though they try to pretend like it does, it doesn't. It doesn't mean people are going to buy more of your tickets. But so for example, my tickets are $25, which I know sounds like a lot anywhere else but Australia, but that's reasonable for Australia. They take $5 per ticket that I've sold for me pushing my own show. And then the venue I was in, which is reasonable because you're in a venue, you're in a space, they take 20% of tickets sold. Totally reasonable amount, really. So because at the end of my season, the Fringe took $999 of my ticket sales. So they take part of my ticket, they've taken my registration, and they charge an amount from like a ticketing fee from the patron as well. So they've rounded that up. That is for them. And then they hold your money, which then accrues interest in their bank account. So then they take that interest for themselves as well. And this is what they do to artists. So my venue got $700 for me running 8 shows. Reasonable.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Reasonable.
Totally reasonable. Happy with that. They got more than my venue. Psychotic. So I'm just pointing that out because when I decided to cancel my first show because I couldn't move and I'd only sold 3 tickets.
She looked like the little girl in The Exorcist.
I looked like the girl in The Exorcist, but like grown up, and like not a virgin anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, so like gross whore, whatever. Anyway.
19 days an hour in bed?
What?
19 hours a day in bed.
Oh yeah, I was sleeping all night. I was sleeping all day. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And I mean, mind you, we're only in the Sunday. I emailed them to cancel because I'd sold 3 tickets. So I was like, you know what? It's not even worth the bus fare because I'm not even going to do a good show. They're like, oh, like we'll kindly remind you it's $30 to cancel.
I thought it was more.
Well, no, it is more. They generously offer you to cancel your first show for $30. Any show thereafter is $50 to cancel plus a percentage of all the tickets you sold for that show, like $1 something. So what ended up happening was on Monday, I woke up after thinking like, okay, I've slept all day Sunday, whatever. I'll be fine to start performing again. I think when on Thursday, I woke up. I had sores in my mouth, like open sores all over my mouth, all over my gums, the roof of my mouth, all over my tongue. I was like, what the fuck? I thought they were canker sores,
It's like a sailor disease from hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, and like to be clear, I'd never had a cold sore. They didn't look like cold sores. But they were starting to form on my lips, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I started taking paracetamol. We went to a pharmacist and they were like, oh yeah, you might need to go to a doctor to see if it improves. I was rubbing salt into them because that's what people on fucking Reddit said to do to get rid of canker sores. And it was sort of working, but not really. But I was starting to feel kind of better physically, but like my mouth was getting crazier. So fast forward to Wednesday, it's not better. And I have to do an hour on Thursday and I have to MC a show on the weekend. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm stressed out because I'm thinking about what the Fringe will take from me because they already have my money for the registration. So I'm like, well, they're going to fuck me because I've actually sold tickets. So I have to get better. I have to do these shows. Otherwise, financially, corrupt, basically, just screwed. So I go to a doctor and I'll name it Scarborough Medical Clinic. Scarborough Beach Medical Clinic.
We don't know the slander.
I know her name, but I'm not going to say her
slander
name.
laws in this country.
Well, that's where I went.
Oh yeah, you're telling the truth. Continue.
Yeah. So I go there, and on the bright side, they see me very quickly.
Do you think that was quick? I don't think it was quick. I guess it was quick for
I'm from fucking America.
From American standards, it was quick.
As far as I'm concerned, that was quick, But I had to pay like $80, American money, 60, 40 pounds, whatever. Again, from America's standpoint, you're like, oh my God, that's a deal, And I see this woman who probably, and I at first when I saw her, I was like, I hope it's the nurse. And then I was like, look, you're being ageist. She's older, so she probably
looked like
knows
she might
a
have
lot.
been on the first boat that got here.
Yeah.
1860s.
I was like, she probably very wise. She's probably the wisest doctor here.
I don't think so. Go on.
No, well, you don't think so now. Yeah. So I sit down and I tell her all this shit that I just told you. I try to show her my mouth. And she's like, oh, you got a virus. And I'm like, well, that much I would gather, And she was like, you're just going to have to wait it out. And I'm like, what? And then she was like, I'll prescribe you this medicine, this topical medicine for herpes. And then I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I told her this like at the beginning. I was like, I've never had a cold sore. So are you saying I have herpes? Because this would be new. And it's pretty aggressive and it's inside of my mouth on my gums. You know what I mean? Like I can't eat. I could hardly drink. I needed a straw to drink water, and when every time I drank water, it was like being punched in the face. And she was like, "No, I actually I don't know if you have herpes." And I was like, "Well, if I put this herpes medication on something that you don't know if it's herpes or not, what's going to happen?" She's like, "Nothing." And I'm like, okay, so we're just going to throw shit at the wall. That's fine. This is as good as me rubbing salt in them. And then she prescribed me an antibiotic that she said may or may not work. And then I was like, well, what should I do about eating? And she's like, well, just try soft foods. And I was like, yeah, no shit. What do you think I've been... ice cream. And I'm like, did you just fucking tell me to eat ice cream? She's like, if it's the only thing you can eat, just eat ice cream. And I'm like, that doesn't... I was like, am I a doctor? I feel like I'd give better advice than this. So I go home. I start taking this antibiotic. A day passes or whatever. I guess this was Tuesday, not Wednesday.
For context, it's in the mid-30s outside.
It's very, yeah.
It's a desert.
It's a desert. The weather is beautiful. I thought I'd had heat exhaustion initially. Yeah, and so this was actually Tuesday, not Wednesday, because then Wednesday happens, and then my show date comes around, and I'm fucking stressed out because my mouth got worse. It got significantly worse, and at this point, I can hardly, I'm pouring yogurt down my throat because that's the only thing I can eat, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I have to go in and do these shows because I will be crippled financially if I don't. So... shout out to a couple people, because where you see that there's like no good in the world, then you do see good in the world. I don't remember his last name, but Russell, the sound tech at the Craft, helped me find people to do my show, to do my hour, like perform on my hour without me having to pay them. Because again, the whole point of me doing the hour is that I get the money. So I can't afford to now start paying a lineup show because I'm already hemorrhaging money on my other lineup show. So Russell, shout out to Russell at the Craft. Shout out to Huang. That's how, yeah, I always fuck it up because I'm from America and that's what we do best. Grant Mouchette, fucking Matt Watson. I forget the name of the... on the last day I had to do the show, I was probably in the worst because at that point it had broken out all over my lips. So I look like I shouldn't be outside. I look diseased. So shout out to the Scottish dude and his wife who also did spots, and Mark who did spots on my show. They did spots, and then I got up and I would eke out somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, tell everybody that I had a mouth disease, which... I only found out what it was because when I went to MC my all-female show, because again, I can't cancel because I'm terrified of all the money they're going to take from me. I meet this female comic who was booked on my show named Jill Cornder, and she takes one look at me and she's like, "You have shingles." And I was like, "What?" And I start looking it up, and every single symptom that I told that doctor that I had, and she was like, you just have a virus, was in fact shingles. And she was like, you must be in so much pain. And I was like, you have no idea. And so a couple things. I'm the hardest comedian on the face of the fucking planet because I emceed shows and did time with shingles, open sores all over my face and mouth. And then I go to a doctor and I say to this new doctor, I have shingles. She gives me a medication and it starts clearing up immediately. So I don't know. Do I become a doctor? Do I just help people with shingles? I don't know. So anyway, thank you, Jill. You're like a fucking hero. I had shingles all over my face and somehow performed stand-up comedy because Perth Fringe would rather have money than make sure that artists are taken care of. And that was Perth. I was basically sleeping all day and all night for 10 days. I eventually...
You had a little bit of fun at the start, and you had one day at the end, maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember that fun day. Oh, yes, when I got to eat solid food again. That was a good day. When my first... I mean, Mark and I on the second to last day, at some point I discovered I could eat refried beans, right?
Yeah, mush. So that's mush. That's Mexican baby food.
And if you melt cheese in it correctly and, mix a little sour cream, I could just sort of, again, shovel it down my gullet. And then one night, that night that I discovered it, because he's a snack monster, he decided to eat what was left in the can, but then throw the rest out. So I was like, okay, that's fine.
I just didn't know if it would stay in the fridge. And I just wasn't thinking.
Then I was
God, I fucking regret that. That caused so much trouble.
Well, I was like,
oh my God, I released a monster.
I was like, we'll get some tomorrow. But tomorrow was Sunday, which was the last day of the Fringe, right? And his brother was going to the store, and we were like, get some refried beans, but they forgot. And then I was like, but the stores close early on Sundays.
Everything closes early in Australia.
Yeah. So...
because it's closer to...
we were like having a fucking domestic over refried beans because I was like, you don't understand.
Just before you had to go on stage as well.
I was like, I haven't eaten in 9 days and this is the only thing I can eat. And I was like,
and then I was like, yeah, but Richie just did a 1 week fast, so I can't be that bad. But then I didn't say that.
By choice.
Yeah.
By choice.
Yeah.
I like that you're like, can't be that bad. Richie's doing it by choice. I'm poor.
I know, but I was just like, you're not going to die. That's all I was thinking.
I'm getting on a fucking bus.
I know, but
every day.
I was trying to be
carting
optimistic.
myself in
I was trying to be
45
optimistic.
minutes and then performing stand-up comedy without having eaten any food and with open sores in my mouth. Do you know what it's like to do? I have to do that for a joke with open. So it was every time I did that, like the first night when I was doing that joke when I didn't know what I had yet. And I did that. I was like, you guys have no idea what that just felt like in my mouth. Like I felt like I was going to pass out. It hurt.
But the
so
audiences are very understanding.
Yeah,
and
because I had
empathetic.
scabs all over my face.
You did. Your face looked like a fucking leprosy. So I guess they had no choice but to be like, they clapped you. They gave you an ovation after every show.
I mean, I fucking deserved it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, lesser comedians would have canceled for, they're like, oh, I only have this, 10 people in the room. I can't do it. I like literally have shingles, in my mouth. Anyway, it was like, so that night I remember I finished the show and you were like, I'm going to go out, and we had found refried beans. So we didn't get divorced. And I was like getting on the bus and I'm carrying a can of refried beans and I got scabs all over my face, and Perth has a meth problem. So everyone on the bus was just looking at me. Like I could feel the judgment. They were like, oh, look at that youthful throwing her life away. Cause I look like a fucking meth head cause I'd lost so much weight. And I had scabs all over my face, and I'm just holding refried beans, which, like, in theory, would actually mean I'm not on meth because I'm, like, hungry and I'm carrying food. But
I'm sure meth users, a lot of tin food.
A lot of tin food. I'd
imagine. I think a lot of drug addicts and tin. Am I getting that from train spotting? Is that just a
no? I think tin
myth?
food.
I think tin food is good for like a junky lifestyle.
But it was like I needed a can opener. Like it wasn't like a pop can. So you like, how do you open?
Stab with a knife.
Yeah, which is probably why they were looking at me. They thought I was gonna stab the can in front of them. It was a lot of judgment, but I was thrilled to have the beans. Do you know what I mean? There's something, I've never been happier to have something in my possession than those refried beans that evening. But then my first real meal was sushi because the fish is very soft, like butter. Oh my God, I wasn't even here. You know what I mean? I was like, I was in heaven when I got to eat that.
That was one of my favorite meals ever. Big ups to my brother and his missus for taking
Sushi Hub.
Yeah.
Who knew?
It's nice when they look after their poor relations, poor sick artists.
Yeah. It was a rough time. It was a pretty rough time. And just on the note also of that doctor not doing their job, they have a newborn baby who hadn't had chicken pox yet. So if you don't know how shingles are formed, you have chicken pox as a kid and then they can come back as shingles as an adult. And if somebody's had chicken pox, you can't give them chicken pox through the shingles, but if they haven't, you can. So just saying, that doctor didn't do their due diligence. Eat ice cream and wait it out was the medical advice I received for $80.
I missed the baby. I was always killing with the baby, sometimes.
Oh, that's what you think.
I have no confidence in comedy sometimes because it doesn't go that well, but that baby always fucking spoiled.
The baby laughed out loud at me.
The baby, yeah, but also the baby got my sense of humor because I was kind of working different angles with the baby. I knew what the baby's kind of comedic tastes were.
I think the baby knows I'm funnier. We both
the baby was laughing at you because the baby knew you had some sort of disease and the baby was scared. And I think the baby uses laughter as a defense
I think
technique.
the baby can see that I have funny bones.
I think the baby was just shocked by you and
this is rich coming from you.
No, I was killing with the baby. I've tried to bring that same material here to Adelaide.
You just pick people up and toss them in the air.
Yeah, and go blue 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 blue. That's the fart noises.
Yeah, see, you fart noises.
Peekaboo. Peekaboo is a classic. I was like, it's
okay,
classic.
First of all, fart noises is basically the equivalent of a joke book joke for babies. So, okay, try again. I did a whole thing with my hair in front of my face. Peekaboo, cousin it, okay?
Okay.
Plus,
you're just being an alternative comic for the baby. I was being classic baby stand-up.
I feel like to people listening, it might be alarming. Well, I guess I did explain they have a newborn baby, but they're like, nobody should have let these two people near
newborn baby. The baby's about 8 years old, really.
Okay, well,
size-wise.
The baby is,
it's
like
the biggest,
5 months old.
The biggest baby.
It is as big as our friend Darius's, like, nearly 2-year-old baby.
It's a big fucking
It's a big baby. See, I don't know, though. You know, I'm not around so many babies, so it's like, I know people are like, this is a big baby, and I'm like, you know, I guess it still looks like a baby to me. I mean, I don't know, but
my comparison now is all other babies are tiny. I was like, what are you doing with your wimp-ass tiny baby? Are you not feeding it?
Yeah, our baby eats your baby. It's not our baby, but
our big fat milky baby will destroy your fucking baby.
Yeah, like the King Kong of babies.
No, it's on solid foods. I'd love to see the mess.
Yeah, no, I didn't get to spend that much time with the baby because I was sick, remember?
She was sick.
I had to keep telling myself, though, I was like, would I rather be sick here or sick in London? And the answer is 100% here. I just wish I had more time here.
What did you think of Scarborough?
I loved it.
What did you love about it?
The beach. The
sun.
sun.
A real beach.
The beach, the sun, the general vibe. I mean, you put it best. You were like, Australians or English people in the sun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, well, a
lot of Irish people in the sun.
People in Australia, this is my sweeping generalization, they work to live, not live to work. Like
everyone's rich, man.
Like
I'm sick of being poor.
Yeah, I'm sick of being poor. I'm sick of being poor. No thanks to Perth Fringe. Anyway, you know, we'll do it again next year. Maybe we'll actually record a podcast beforehand, you know. And for as bad luck
I could really record a podcast with you with shingles anyway, and you were like diseased for 10 days, basically. There's no way you're going to be able to do anything. Yeah. And I guess when we got here first, we had an Airbnb roommate who is a cop.
No, wait, what? Okay, can I...
What, you want to back up?
Yeah, I do want to back up. You didn't even say where here is. And do you remember the only thing I said? The only thing I said before this podcast started is, we should wait to talk about the place we're in until after we leave. Remember that?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that one thing.
Well, you didn't even qualify it. They're like, where is here? What do you mean? Like nobody knows where we are.
People know.
We've been talking about Perth for the last 25 minutes.
But we were at the beginning we talked that we said that we were in Adelaide. I believe.
Did we?
I believe we did. I said coming in live from Adelaide. I might have said that.
I don't think you said
didn't?
that.
Oh, well, maybe you weren't paying attention.
I don't think you said that at all. Maybe
you got shingles in your fucking ears.
Okay, I'll give you shingles.
You could do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been scared of me. The scabs have been off my lips for a week, and he still won't come near me.
No, I give her an affectionate pat in the head.
An affectionate pat.
An affectionate
like
pat.
Like an animal.
Anyway, where were we? On the timeline.
Well, should we thank, you know...
Oh, yeah, we should thank the sponsors.
We should thank the sponsors.
That hung in there.
Here's the thing. They have hung in there. Because this one guy...
We don't deserve you.
You know what? I think we do
okay, we do deserve you. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I'm not going to... I feel like we do deserve them. I don't want to put us down. We could give more. But we're not undeserving...
Yeah.
Of the few people who support us.
Yeah, we're emotional wrecks and we're financially distraught.
Destitute, yes.
Yeah, we're destitute and...
Are we destitute? Why does this seem
technologically,
to be a theme?
we're retarded. So
yeah,
there's a few things
fact.
going on. Social media-wise, we're absolute
We
spaz.
should be on welfare for being dumb. I mean, I'm not dumb. You're not dumb. But we're not... You know what it is? We're just not...
Optimists. I'm an optimist.
You're an optimist. No, we're just not good at the stuff, you know, that everyone else is good. Like, we're artists. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're good at the, like, oh, okay, I can be funny. I can make people laugh, but I don't know how to run a business. Anyway,
yeah.
Whatever. On that note, we should thank our sponsors. Chicken House.
Chicken House.
Chicken House. Oh, I want to talk about rocks because I know Chicken House will appreciate it. So anyway.
Mark is, Gay Retard is done, and now it's Mark is a...
goddamn hero.
Goddamn hero.
Yeah.
I don't like... I do like...
You're going to have to say
I can't take a compliment.
Yeah, I know. So I hope this name stays the same for a while.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Because you really can't take a compliment. And
I really appreciate it. Obviously, Shane and Bev, thanks for hanging in there. I'll see you in Ireland at some point. Kev.
It might be Kev.
Or Damo. Just say both of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. And I think that's it. Is that it?
No. And Ben, obviously.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Cheers, Ben. I'll talk to you when I get back.
Thank you. But
me and Ben did a podcast together, and I fucking corrupted the file. So that was what I was working on. That's why I kind of lost the passion for podcasting. We recorded a podcast. I tried to edit it. I corrupted the file. I fucked up the card, and then I was like, I can't. I just can't when someone mentioned a podcast, I get a disgusting pain in my stomach.
Oh wow! So that's how I feel about stand-up comedy.
Yeah. So okay, now we're back in. We're creating momentum again.
Well, Mark is a goddamn hero. Sent a very earnest message to us saying that we shouldn't stop doing this. And then what was funny about that, we didn't do it for 2 months. But it's because
I was close to quitting after that last fucking technical.
Well, and we had to get ready to come here to fail. No, it hasn't been. Look, to be fair, it's all about putting things into perspective.
We're not failing the way people around us are failing.
Yes.
Financial wise.
Yes. Like it's not going great.
But we're not investing 15 grand into something that's flopping.
Yeah, like
which is
7 grand, 15 grand. Like
makes me feel better.
We did it. Because this is the thing. You have to invest something. Like that's part of the deal. You have to, for every show you do. Like we have 4 shows here. You have to pay a registration. You have to pay for the room, right? That's your bare minimum. You have to pay for that unless you find a room that doesn't charge you. But yeah, that's it. Then in theory, you have to get posters and flyers. Now, I have been to Adelaide Fringe before, but I don't remember what happened because it was in 2020 and I couldn't remember if people were flyering or whatever. So we took the risk of not getting posters and not getting flyers. And guess what? Best decision I ever fucking made. We made it while I was in Shingle Land because you were going to have to send the poster to the print company. And what would have been printed was like a picture of your dick.
I'm not able. Been the fucking poster. I'm just not able. And then I just went and figured out how to do my own flyers, which, yes, basic, childlike, mistakes, not even the same size, but they were free. Because they have a little office where you can do stuff for free.
That is something that the Adelaide Fringe has that Perth did not. They have a little office where you can do stuff for free, including laminating, which I see that you just opted not to do as well.
I'm taking the environmental route. So I like hanging out. I was in there for hours making these basic...
hours.
Hours.
Yeah.
Me and then everyone else in there is Aboriginal person. So I think it's half an Aboriginal help centre and half a help centre for me. It's not nice.
That's nice they did that for you.
There's always someone to lean on. Yeah. I like it.
I mean, they figured
lean on me when you're not good at computers.
Yeah. Well, I guess they figured if they're not going to help you sell tickets, they'll at least let you sit there hours trying to learn how to use a computer.
Yeah. I'm getting computer lessons.
So, yeah. I found out, this is also funny here. This is this drama that, is not surprising or whatever. But did you see the thing that I guess in Adelaide in particular. But look, this is a tale as old as time. I love the idea that nobody pays for reviews in Edinburgh. It's if you've paid a PR person, as far as I'm concerned, you're paying for fucking reviews. But this big scandal out here is that all these publications are taking money from artists to come review their show.
That's a good hustle.
That's a crazy,
the most crazy desperate hustle. Whores in the world.
No, I mean, I feel bad. Look, I feel bad for people. I mean, I do and I don't. I feel bad because it's here's the thing. We're not getting reviewed and I don't give a fuck because what do these reviewers do for the rest of the year? I mean, I don't know. They certainly don't review comedy. And even though the one guy, Chortle, who does, why is he the guy? Why is his opinion what? As anyone who's become a booker or a reviewer, as far as I'm concerned, is a failed artist. Sorry.
What? Unless you're making money, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean failed financially. They're doing better financially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but in terms of a creative. But anyway, yeah. So people are pissed off. And it's it's sad, it's funny, whatever. If we make it out of here without losing all the money we put in, that's where we're at. We're at a point where
we're at a breaking even point, I believe.
Yeah.
You're right. Are we right in that breaking even point?
Yeah.
It's because today I got a hustle today. And hustle for me means not make eye contact, walk into a place and drop a load of flyers. All of them individual, bespoke, writing all over them. And hopefully someone will pick them up, have a laugh off it, and come to my show, and probably do some spots around town.
Well, that's the thing. You sort of wish that, like, I guess what these fringes were supposed to be about, right? Is being celebrated for being different, being an artist, being like creative or whatever. And yeah, okay, these flyers that you've made, they're insane.
But they're different than everyone else.
Completely different.
Everyone else is just someone wearing lipstick.
Yeah, well,
something.
It's somebody who had a fucking photo shoot and took a zany photo, and that's myself included.
Me in a leotard, me feeling leotarded.
Yeah, okay, and so to be honest, like if I was like a fringe goer, which I'm not, but let's pretend I was, and I saw these flyers, I'd pick this up and be like, this is fucking weird. I'm going to this. And then, to be honest, I'd be disappointed because it's just a lineup show. But you're funny.
No, I'm going to get some... I have some good acts. I'm only going to put it on like 1 or 2 acts. It's going to be grand.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't be... They're probably not going to get paid unless a miracle happens. I can't pay them.
Yeah.
But that's what you have friends for. That's what you have good old friends. Fucking big up to Alessio Carducci for pitching in and doing some time on my first show.
Well, I also want to, I might as well throw this other thank you out there. Like, I'm okay. The problem is, for as long as we do stand-up comedy, there will always be something to bitch about. That's it. Like, and that's part of where, the acceptance should come in. Because it's like, the more you accept it, the freer you are and the more at peace you can be with the way it all is. And again, it depends on the day. But, the thing that's so interesting about comics, is like they'll eat their own young to like get somewhere. They'll eat each other. And so it's pretty rare that you find somebody that's like selflessly nice. And I have met one comic here who has been that way. And so I might as well shout out to him and shout out to his show because, his name's Mark Ryan and he does a show about like, as an adult man having like thoughts of suicide ideation based on a bunch of abuse that he, suffered from as a kid, which I don't want to ruin his show, but from a little bit that he described, sounds pretty fucking hardcore, and he likes what he does is he goes around because he wants to, make people who might have those types of experiences or those thoughts, like feel better, which in theory is like what I've been sort of trying to transition into, like hoping to do, not just like, oh, here's the stupid joke about like, the guy I sucked off once, and rather like something slightly more meaningful. That's not just like, oh, if I can get the crowd to laugh at me about my new Tinder joke, then I feel better, So anyway, he like, all I did was have like a really honest conversation with him. I think the first time we met, just like very brief. And, I was like, yeah, I don't know. This is going to be what it's going to be. And he has tried his best to introduce me to people who, nothing's come of it, but that has nothing to do with him. That has to do with the fact, like, bookers will love to ignore anyone until they're, deemed important enough. And I've seen what's happening at this festival, and I know I'm funny enough to be booked, but it doesn't fucking matter. But he has done his best to introduce me. He's having me open his show at the same venue where it's earlier, so he has more people to help promote my show, and he's done that all selflessly. You know what I mean? Because he's like he believes like trying to make this like better because everyone can eat then. So if you get a chance to see him wherever he goes, his name is the beautiful Bogan, Mark Ryan, like 100%. Good person. Give him your fucking money if you're not going to give me your money to see my show. So
very good.
Yeah.
Very humble of you.
Humble
that's
of
not
me.
The correct word.
What? You don't think I'm a humble person?
You are a humble person.
Thank you.
Stop shouting.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, it's true. Like I think you should, because I'll put it this way. Like, and again, I'm not going to name further names, but like he tried to make an introduction for me to someone I actually know and work with regularly, like I'll put it this way, could have made the same intro and didn't. Probably, if I had to assume why, because they would be concerned that if they made the intro, that's potentially less spots for them, you know, because everybody's trying to get theirs at this festival. And I get it, because you have to find the empathy, because you're like, some people have invested an insane amount of money, so everything is operating under a place of absolute terror of how am I going to get this money back when everybody thought they were going to make money. So it's like you can't even hold a grudge. But this man, like, selflessly was like, I think he hadn't even seen me perform, but I think, you know, you can tell if people like whatever. He was just like, I'm gonna intro you, like, you know, like you should get some spots, you know, have a chance to promote yourself. But meanwhile, someone I know personally wouldn't do that, you know, didn't do that, wasn't ever gonna do it.
A lot of rats in a bucket, man.
A lot of rats in the bucket.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So just, you know, one of the, as they say, one of the good ones. So definitely check him out if, you know, he's in a town near you. That's Mark with a C. Mark Ryan. But, you know, on the point of going and seeing Mark's, if you are in Adelaide, for the love of God, please go to Mark O'Keefe's show, because that's the show losing us the most money.
It's just that people just don't know yet. I put it on Reddit. I put my flyer on Reddit.
Your name is bad.
The name is bad. There's no posters. The venue's out of the way. It's in a hotel. It's in
a haunted house.
It's in a wedding venue, hotel, and it's a show called Crack House. So
yeah, well, and a literal crackhead. Well, no, I guess they weren't really.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to see how much time.
45.
Why does it feel like I've been here for 2 days?
Because you really had a lot to vent today, which is good. That's what our listeners.
Well, I didn't hate. Well, like, you know, that's like 2 months worth of fucking. Like, what else happened? I'm sure something I remember there was something that happened in London that I wanted to talk about, but we never got there. Oh, but I do want to say, I went to this rock shop here.
Okay.
I went to a few rock shops. Let's be honest. This is the only, and you're like, maybe the reason you're losing money is because you're spending it on rocks. But I've never regretted a rock I bought unless, but then I've tried to find a way to not regret it. The only way I've not regretted a rock I bought is if I buy the rock and it's advertised as one thing.
Are you
and then
concerned
I get it
about the weight of our luggage? Because rocks are dense and heavy. They're actually one of the most densest, heaviest things you can have as a souvenir, just fucking rocks.
Yeah, well.
So I'm just kind of concerned that every rock weighs, you know, yeah, it's okay.
A couple grams.
Yeah, I know a couple of grams, they all add up to kgs, don't they?
Yeah, well, you know, I've carried them in my backpack.
It's more than a couple of grams. A stone like that is probably,
you know what,
150 grams,
you just
200
fucking
grams.
Touched my stones. Those ones were
were you
cleansing.
Were you doing some fucking rock healing? Sorry.
You fucking unbelievable. No, I'm not concerned because I feel like the rocks will protect me from the airport security. Okay, no, but I went to this rock shop here. I think it's called like Nature's Magic. I don't even know what it's called, but it's basically like there's rocks in trays piled everywhere. It's like, you know, the hoarder of rocks. And this is for like one of our patron subscribers, basically alone. But they had a bunch of Shiva lingams there. I'm just gonna let you know, different sizes. You don't have to know what I'm talking about, but our patron will. But I've got some good stuff. So like I was saying, the only time I regret a rock I buy is if it's advertised as one thing and then I get it home and I spend all this time like looking at it and holding it, whatever, and then I learn it's something else. But can't fault people. But anyway, this rock that I got, it's an anhydro agate. Now, sometimes people pronounce it agate. I don't, and that's how it's spelled, but I think it's agate. But an anhydro agate means, like, so it's an agate, but inside of it is trapped water. You probably can't hear it, but if you shake it, you can hear it like clicking around in there. And if you shine a light, you can like see the water.
And that water's been there. How long did the person in this store say?
Like hundreds of thousands of years.
Just fucking use a syringe to inject it in.
How are you going to inject water into this rock?
You drill a little hole, you inject the water, and then you fill the hole in with some sort of resin.
I like that you can't use a computer, but you've come up with this idea. I don't think, like, look, I'm sure people do that, but like...
Not this one.
Well, they had a bunch of them.
Okay, well,
anyway, it's a real fucking thing. And like this dude wasn't in the business. He had all sorts of shit around. Like, this dude wasn't in the business of... Fuck you, man. Don't fucking ruin the one thing that's made me happy, aside from the beach this whole time.
It's a really nice rock. I like it.
Anyway, it's a fucking rock filled with water that's hundreds of thousands of years. And and when you shine a light through, you can see the water moving around and shit. Pretty dope rock. I'm just gonna say, worth it. Worth all the loss. You know. What if I told you I spent what we spent getting into this festival on this rock?
I just pretend I didn't hear it. You know what I mean? I just go into denial. You can go into deep levels of denial. All right. I think we're done here. Are we done?
It's a good rock. Are you sure?
But do you want to just do one more promotion of whatever you got left, just in case someone who's listening knows someone who's in Adelaide?
I mean, I thought we did it all at the top.
Yeah, but I can't even remember what you said.
Well, you don't need to remember. You're not the one that needs to come to the shows.
What you got today?
Filthy Funny Females.
At
6 o'clock at Ayer's house.
Then you have to do Bumble Me Tinders.
Yeah, but I'm not promoting that because it's selling just fine.
We're not going to promote that.
And it's
and
funny.
Straight after that, you got Ooh Girl, You's Nasty.
Yeah, I have Ooh Girl, You Nasty.
You got to run from one of those to the other one, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Ugh. See, that's the other thing. This is the last thing I'll say. There's a bunch of comics who are like, oh, I'm doing like 25 shows today. And it's like, I used to be like that. I did. Right when I started, I was like, I have 25 shows today. Because I think you should be like that. But like, God, even my day to day, it's like too much. It's too much. So yeah, I'm doing the 6 o'clock. I'm emceeing Filthy Funny Females at 6 o'clock at Ayer's house. I'm going to open for Mark Ryan because he's kind and he's letting me promote myself to his audience at 7. Then I'm going to MC Bumble Me Tinders. Then I'm going to do my hour. And as far as I'm concerned, too much. But, whatever. This is part of the job. Speaking of, we're going back to Edinburgh because, I'm a glutton for punishment. So we'll be able to promote those shows later, hopefully.
Maybe.
And we're going to be in Brighton.
Okay, yeah. So we got shit going on. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and we're going to. Should we tell them where we're going next week, or should we just?
No, I think we should.
We should wait till we're there, and then just
make it a surprise,
and then podcast from there. That might be a really good location to podcast from. It'd be nice, the background noise and shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Fucking.
I don't think I'm gonna get to go back to the rock shop today.
We might join a cult. You can go. We'll wrap this up now, and you can go to your fucking. You can get your hit.
I gotta do yoga and stuff.
Yeah, we'll fucking get on it.
All right. Well, thank you again for the continued support.
Thanks for the continued support
from the people who support us.
You are absolute.
You really are, because it's that time of year where they're going to charge us again to keep hosting the podcast. So thank you for your contribution.
Your contributions.
We're going to try to be better.
We're going to be I'm going to be better.
I did get shingles of the mouth though.
She got diseased.
Yeah.
She was a diseased woman, and I should have done it myself, but there was a baby. I should have done a podcast with the baby. I just had the baby gurgling in one fucking microphone, and I could have just been gurgling back in the other microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gurgle.
Goo goo gaga. Okay, we gotta.
How long this is like trying to get my mom off the phone.
All right. Thanks everyone. Thanks. Good day. Good night. God bless. Cheers. Cheers, folks.
Jesus.
No way.